My guest today is Dave Meyer. Welcome to our Buzz, Dave Meyer.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, Dave is a photographer. His work is a little quirky. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of mysterious sometimes. You have to think, what is he trying to say here? Sometimes it's a little social commentary, too. You are showing at the
Tulare Historical Museum in Tulare. And we have a show that's opening on July 31st with a free reception from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. And if your viewers have never been to the Tulare Historical Museum, they're probably getting some fuzzy image of woolly mammoths and things like that. It's a wonderful museum. It's fairly new. And they have a huge support base in Tulare, and they've dedicated about 1/3 of their space to having art shows. And this is where I and my friend Richard Harrison will be showing our pictures.
That's right, Richard Harrison as well, from the Middle Earth of California series.
Right, my fellow photographer from Spectrum Gallery, and he's the president and I'm the treasurer, so I guess we're double teaming.
Oh my goodness. And Richard has a show at Spectrum next month.
He is opening a show a couple of days after we open our show in Tulare, so he's really doing double duty.
Before we get into your artwork, Tulare Historical Museum, does it give is there a California history section there?
Oh yeah, it's two of their major displays are Bob Mathias, who was born and raised in Tulare, who was an Olympian and has donated many of his artifacts, and Elmo Zumwalt, who was famous admiral mostly in the Vietnam era, who was also from there. And but they have just a general museum of all sorts of historical things. It's a really wonderful museum.
And it's actually right off the 99 Tulare.
You can take the Tulare Avenue exit off of 99 and go west, probably about a mile, and it's right there.
Oh my goodness, that's neat. Excuse me. So anyway, let's start looking at your work. I like to think that Dave's work is kind of quirky. We've belonged to Spectrum Gallery for over 20 years together, and it's funny, as photographers, you know, everybody goes their own way, learning things they like or following up on trends. You know, we went from film to digital, you know, and 20 years ago, you know, everybody wanted to be Ansel Adams with your 4x5 and your 8x10, and you're in there in the darkroom. And now everything's kind of digital, and you can enhance it with your Photoshop in your computer. And the results are just as wonderful. It's just different. And so let's look at this first one, because this one I thought was the quirkiest of all. And it is a bunch of dolls that are like in the freezer or something. But it's actually at an antique store or something.
I was in Dos Palos just wandering around, as I often do, and we found a secondhand store. It's a huge old warehouse-like building, and it was stuffed, absolutely stuffed with all sorts of stuff. And I happened upon this case full of dolls, and it really struck me as quite humorous, quite funny, and it's the sort of stuff I love. But the couple that was running the place were like in their 80s, and I didn't really want them to think I was making fun of them and laughing at their lifestyle, so I had to be discreet, and I couldn't get into a very good position to do that picture because everything was so junk. I mean, I don't want to say junky, but it had a lot of stuff in the way.
They were hoarding.
Yeah.
Here's another neat picture with Captain Kirk. You take a lot of walks and you just photograph things you see that are interesting.
I drive. I come up to Fresno fairly regularly because of my Spectrum. I live in Kingsburg, which is 25 miles from here. But I come up here quite a bit because I have business to do with Spectrum, and of course there's always doctors, dentists, and all that. And so I will, when I have the time and I don't have somebody with me that's impatient, I'll just drive the streets and look for pictures. And this is one, this was just a couple blocks from here, actually. And I have no idea what this person was thinking when they created it, but I love this sort of thing, and it has a sign there that's got...
Right, you couldn't see that at the bottom of our image there. It cut it off, but it was the
protection ones. I'm
Right.
thinking Captain Kirk. He wouldn't use
doesn't
protection
need
one. He
protection
wouldn't
one.
need them.
Exactly. He was bad. This here too is right here in the
That's
neighborhood.
right. You could throw a stone at that building. That's at the bakery over here. This is one of my favorites at the moment, at least. And I had gotten a pastry, and I was sitting across the street in my car, and I was looking at that wall, and I'm thinking, you know, that's a pretty neat picture. The sun is coming down on it. There's shadows from the trees, and I just really liked it, but it didn't seem to have enough to make it justify taking a picture. But then this guy started walking into the frame from the left, and I grabbed my camera because it's always on the passenger seat next to me, and I started shooting as he walked into the frame. And then just after a couple of frames, this red car turns the corner from Olive, and I think he's ruined my
Complete?
picture. I'm not happy.
But he completed the picture.
He
actually.
did, but I didn't know that at the
Right.
time. I had to go home and look at it to realize that he had done me a huge favor, and the idea that so much of this is by chance. This guy is living on top of the world in his sports car. The other guy has got an artificial leg. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
And he's obviously not living real high on the hog. And so here you have this juxtaposition of the two people, and that just really does it for me. I just love
And that says a lot about our neighborhood.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Here's another wonderful image that's kind of ethereal, and you know, I've got to ask you, you know, because you do digital, you do enhance a little bit with filters and
A little bit, but
little
it's
bit?
not. It's still pretty much real, but it did try to give it a little more ghostly appearance, because whenever I see a vacant building like this or an empty open space that maybe has been abandoned or has a lot of memories to it, I kind of see the ghost. And it's called I Could Have Danced All Night, because in my mind,
it looks like a big ballroom.
exactly, a big
Yeah.
ballroom. I saw a big band, 1940s, and everybody all dressed up, and that's the vision I had. But it's never been used for that. I think it was a hardware store.
Oh, goodness. Okay. We made stuff up for you.
Yeah.
This one, I think, is really kind of a sad picture, and it's called Bye, Mom. And it's, I don't know if you can see those chickens in there, but it's kind of one of those things we don't like to talk about because we like to think our food comes already processed at the store, and
Yeah, I get a little self-righteous now because I became a vegetarian,
Oh,
so I
you
can
did?
look down on all the people that eat meat, you know. But that to me is a very poignant shot.
Yes,
that poor
exactly.
animal going off to market.
and here we go to you.
Okay, that's the homeless memorial. It was in downtown Fresno. I have a lot of interest in homeless people. I think it's a really sad commentary on our society in this day and age. But those memorials represent people who'd been living down there and who had died. And in many cases, that may be the only memorial they got. They probably went to a pauper's grave. And then the city of Fresno tore that overpass down. It's no longer there. So I don't know if it got moved or if it just got picked up and destroyed.
Wow. It's heartwarming. And reaching the lost at any cost.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorite subjects is religion. I won't.
So here's a dreamy one.
Yes,
Inviting
it's got the spiritual stuff there, and it's a church in Tulare, and I just love that slogan: "Reaching the lost at any cost." You know, that's a big promise.
Here's another one that I really love this picture because I love that it's been enhanced with Photoshop, with filters and things to make it almost like a painting. But it's really just dumpsters and a back alley, and it's actually Porterville, I think,
It's in
if that's my
Porterville,
memory.
and it's about the most prosaic scene you're ever going to see. But I love the look of those dumpsters that are almost like alligators waiting to grab their prey and suck them in.
Coming
and
down the alley.
That's what really made that for me.
So your show is, it starts July 31st and runs,
To September 27th. We got
so
a whole
it's 2 months.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fantastic.
we're really fortunate.
Yeah.
It,
Oops, I think we missed one or skipped one or something.
that's another one of my favorite subjects is the patriotism and religion. And in that picture, you've got them both, the flag and there's a cross in the other window. That's in Biola. And
okay.
another time when I was just cruising for pictures. This is
This is a big valley one for
Yeah.
sure. The gun show and the is it the Ag Center, down there by Tulare?
it's down there by the Ag Center, but it's still in the heart of Tulare, or just on the south end. And I always like gun type images because a lot of the people, and you probably know this firsthand because you travel to Europe so much, don't comprehend the American fascination with
Yeah.
guns and
It's
the
not
gun
something
shows.
it's everywhere. Yeah, it's only here. So I don't know if we have another image, but
No, that's
that
it.
was it. Oh, okay. Well, Dave Meyer, thank you for being here on the Art Buzz with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And July 31st, it opens 5 to 7, 444 West Tulare, off the 99 at the Tulare Historical Center. You're watching Chuck Leonard Central Valley Buzz, and Chuck will be back tomorrow with all kinds of giveaways and wonderful things, and I'll see you next week.
valleytalk.com